Mode.
Yeah, very good evening to all. This is Abhishek again from the Study Metro Bangalore, and today we have a Pragati. Uh, this is the first webinar she is giving regarding the study in the Switzerland. So all the best, Pragati. And today she is going to be covered regarding the what are the programs we offer in the Switzerland, and what are the what kind of students we can recruit for the upcoming intakes. So Pragati, are you ready? Shall we begin now?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay, thank you very much. And it's over to you. You can start now.
Okay. Good evening to all of you. I'm Prakati Joshi and I'm going to give presentation on the country Switzerland. My presentation is divided into three major parts. Firstly, I'm going to make you aware about the Switzerland basic information like its capital, demographics, currency, seasons, why one should study in Switzerland. Secondly, we'll explain you about the graduate and undergraduate courses, popular universities, deadline of the applications, intakes, and many more. Thirdly, we'll explain you about the visa process, type of visa, documents needed, and work permit. So, let's start with the basics. Abhishek sir, can you hear me?
Pragati, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what's the problem. My presentation is not just moving forward.
Just exit that one and go to the another PPT, and then you can go ahead.
Okay, now it's working. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Switzerland is a mountainous Central European country bordered by Germany to the north, Austria to the east, Italy to the south, and France to the west. Bern is the capital of Switzerland. It is a home to numerous lakes, villages, and high peaks of the Alps. That's why it is an everyday eye candy here. Mountains, lakes, forests, sunsets, sunrises are amazingly beautiful while studying over here. If I talk about the distance between the India and the Switzerland is near around 6913.64 kilometer. Languages spoken. Switzerland has four official languages: German, French, Italian, and Romance. Out of these, 67% of Swiss people speak German and 24% speak French. However, English is widely spoken over here. Most of the lectures, most of the programs are generally taught in English. Currency of Switzerland is called as Swiss franc, CHF. So if I talk about its conversion in INR, 1 CHF is equals to 70 INR. Population. Population of Switzerland is 8.24 million, including approximately 24% resident foreigners. Swiss watches and chocolates are world renowned. The country is also known for its car resorts and hiking trails. There are two seasons for study, summer and winter. Temperature in summer ranges from 20 to 25 degrees centigrade, while temperature in winters is around 5 to 10 degrees centigrade. Moving to the next slide. It's all about time difference. India is 3 hours and 30 minutes ahead of Switzerland. For example, if it's 5 p.m. in India, comparatively, time in Switzerland would be showing 1:30 p.m. Now it's a general question, why to study in Switzerland? So just have a look to below mentioned points. Opportunity to learn different language. With not one, not two, but four native languages, including French, German, Italian, and Romance, Switzerland offers multilingualism like no other. Students have the opportunity to hone current language skills or learn something completely new free of cost. Medium of instruction is English. While English is not one of the Switzerland's four national languages, most locals speak great English and are committed to global culture. Schools and universities, particularly business program, offer complete courses of study in English. World top ranked academic institutions. Switzerland is home to some of the world's best ranked academic institutions. Zurich Swiss Federal Institute of Technology (ETH) holds the seventh place spot in engineering, science and technology and has hosted a whopping 31 Nobel laureates. Moreover, the country also has three other institutions in the QS Top 100 ranking: École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, the University of Geneva at 17th ranking, and the University of Zurich with 57th ranking. Next point is the speaking of business program. As European business hub, Switzerland is home to some of the world's best business minds, particularly in the field of the hospitality, banking, pharmaceuticals, and chemical, making it a premier place to learn and work. The country is committed to investing in both education and research. For this reason, many multinational corporations are headquartered here. In fact, 15 Fortune 500 companies call Switzerland home. Most interesting, paid internships. Paid internship for the hands-on experience. During internships, student can earn around 2168 CHF per month. So if I convert it in INR, it would be near around 1,51,000. So which helps them in saving and taking care of their accommodation. Next point is Europe is all around you. If you enjoy traveling, this is the right place to be. Switzerland has Paris, London, Amsterdam, Rome, and Madrid at its doorstep. As I said you that Italy, France, it has covered by the Italy, France, Austria, and Germany. So all states are all here. Famous for sky resorts and hiking trails. Switzerland geography is postcard perfect. The iconic Swiss Alps, serene blue lakes offer a breathtaking scenes backdrop for academic life. Many higher education institutions are tucked into or near the Alps themselves for easy access to a wondrous view. If you love to ski and snowboard, there is no place better than Switzerland. And if you don't love to ski and snowboard, there is no better place to learn. Students are eligible for an inexpensive year-long ski pass to some of the world's best slopes. Summer, meanwhile, brings stunning views and clear lake swimming. Between the cheese chocolate and famed Swiss delicacy, roasty life in Switzerland is true Epicurean adventure. Popular universities. Here is the list of the top universities in 2015. As per three major ranking platforms that are ARW, QS, and the Times Higher Education. So you can see here, it's like university. If I talk about the University of Zurich, it holds a ranking of 104, world ranking of 104. If I talk about the University of Geneva, 131, Basel, 101, University of Bern, 120. So there are 11 universities in the Switzerland. 9 are run by the cantons and 2 are run by the confederation. The education is broken up into two similar parts. two parts similar to the education in the USA. It's like bachelor degree, 3 years, and master's degree, that is 1.5 or 2 years. After successful completion of the master's study, one can start working on a thesis in order to get a doctor title. This takes usually 3 to 4 years. So at undergraduate level, here is the list of some popular programs over there. It's like tourism, communication design, business administration, sports management, multimedia production. And if I talk about the postgraduate level, on postgraduate level, the popular programs are hospitality management, tourism, business administration, entrepreneurship management, information science, and engineering. Now, this is one of the most important slides. Steps of application process. Okay, so it starts with course and college selection. As Switzerland provides a variety of study options, select the course and the university of your interest. Second step is application. All applicants must submit certified true copy of relevant documents along with the application form. Either you can send scanned copy of all documents and application fee, or can directly upload your documents online on the university website. Third one is offer letter. If your application is successful, university will send the provisional acceptance letter within a week. Fourth step is pay the fees. Student has to pay first semester fee of the course as per the offer letter within stipulated time. Acceptance or confirmation. The confirmation will be sent as soon as the university have received the deposit payment. This document is needed to apply for visa. So this procedure may take up to 4 to 8 weeks. Visa process. After you receive the acceptance letter, you need to apply for the student visa as soon as possible, as it usually takes around a month to get a response from the embassy or consulate. As I've discussed that offer letter needs 1 week at least, and confirmation for confirmation and acceptance, we need at least time of 4 to 8 weeks. So all international students intending to study in Switzerland require a residence permit, which you can obtain from the local migration office within 14 days after your arrival to the Switzerland. Moving to next slide. Here are the list of the documents that are required for the graduation and undergraduation programs. It's like previous education documents, 10th mark sheet and 12th mark sheet for undergrad and degree or provisional degree. A student is applying for the grade programs, school colleges leaving certificate, photographs, passport copy, statement of purpose, resume, copies of IELTS and TOEFL, 2 letter of recommendation, work experience certificate if any. However, each of the universities or the colleges make its own decisions as to what certificates and qualifications it recognizes. Generally, 60% or 65% is required in academics, but if student has low scores, say 50% or even less than that, we have an option for the same as well. Additional documents for students who apply to a doctoral program: a letter from an instructor of the faculty who is approved to the direct doctoral dissertations and who agrees to overlook your research. If you are in your final year at secondary school and have not yet received your diploma, you may apply based on your grades over the year. All certificates and transcripts that are not in English, German, French or Italian must be translated into English or French by the certified translator. Along with the translation, some universities will demand an official document for the school or university that you attended, with an explanation of grading and assessment system. English requirement. The universities require good knowledge of the English of instruction. If I talk about the IELTS and TOEFL, 6 bands for the undergraduation program we need and 6.5 bands for the graduation program. Here, I would like to add one more point. It's not mandatory to submit IELTS TOEFL scores at the time of applying to the university. University will issue a conditional letter to the student. Later on, student get unconditional letter once he or she has submitted the IELTS and TOEFL scorecard. Moreover, if you don't hold a language certificate, you can take a language test at the university and they can decide if your level education or if your understanding level is sufficient to complete your studies or not. For some of the universities like hospitality, IELTS TOEFL is not mandatory at all. They will take Skype interview of the candidate to judge their communication skill, oral plus written, their presentability. So if you are applying for the hospitality courses in particular, then they'll judge basically your presentability. Intakes and application deadlines. There are two intakes, fall intake and spring intake. Fall intake runs from the September through December and application deadline is from 1st December to 28th February. If I talk about the spring semester, it runs from the February through June and application deadline is like 1st May to 30th September. Although application deadlines for the study in Switzerland vary depend on the study program and university or the college. Students are usually required to submit their application in the spring semester for the studies beginning the following academic year. Tuition fee. Tuition fee for the universities and colleges in Switzerland vary from institute to institute. Semester fee at public university vary from 33,000 to 2 lakhs. Private universities but obvious charge higher tuition fee, and depending on the university location, area of study, personal needs, the estimated cost for a year ranges between from CHF to 20,000 to 30,000 CHF. If I convert it into INR, it would be costing like 40 lakhs to 22 lakhs. It's a tentative figure, it's not exact figure. Living cost depends on the location of the city in the Switzerland. Prices always vary. Here you can see the cost for accommodation, tea, milk and many more. Water bottle, cinema ticket. So the approx cost in Switzerland is 1500 to 2400 USD per month, including food, drink, leisure, transport, telephone, accommodation and book, etc. So moving to my next slide. Okay, it was all about the academics, intake, application and many more, and I am going to make you aware about the visa process at the Switzerland. All international students intending to study in Switzerland require a residence permit, which you can obtain from the local migration office within 14 days after your arrival to the Switzerland. There are two types of the study visa. First is C visa and another one is D visa. For courses of up to 3 months, summer courses, for example, language schools, you may need a short-term Schengen visa, C visa. And for courses longer than 3 months, you may need a long-term national D visa. You cannot come to Switzerland on a 3-month tourist visa and change it to a student residence permit after you have arrived in Switzerland. Thus, even if you are exempt from needing an entry visa, for example, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, students from these countries do not require a visa. Even if you are just staying there in the Switzerland for more than 90 days, everyone need residence permit before you arrive. Okay. Documents required for the visa application filing. I must correct myself. It's like 3 forms of application for long stay visa, filled and signed by the applicant. Application which are not duly completed, dated and signed will not be accepted. 2 passport photo, 2 copies of valid passport or travel document, letter of acceptance issued by Swiss University, 2 copies of confirmation of payment of school tuition fees, a statement containing that details of income and assets with official proof and or bank statement, 2 copies each. Here you need to show near around your course fee and including 1 year living expense in your bank statement. Letter of institution, in case all expenses for the study will be covered by scholarship or loan. 2 copies of previous diplomas and school certificates. 2 copies of written confirmation that the applicant will leave Switzerland after he or she completes the chosen course study. 2 copies of resume. 2 copies of a brief essay on the applicant's future plans. Visa fee, additional postage fee, return air ticket depending on the duration of the course. The procedure takes at least 8 to 10 weeks. So bring your family. According to the Swiss regulation, you cannot bring your family on your study visa, except if you hold a confederation grant, if you are a doctoral student or if you are a postdoctoral researcher. It means like no permission for the students who are going for the graduation or undergraduation programs, but if a student doing PhD here in Switzerland, they can bring their family to join that. They can bring their spouse or dependent, whether it's child or parent, to join them in the Switzerland. So it's only for the PhD, and it's PhD applicant must have prior permission with the government or confederation. There should be confederation grant for doing that. Health insurance. Health insurance is compulsory for all students intending to stay in Switzerland for more than 3 months. International students can either pay for health insurance policy from their home country before they come to Switzerland, or can purchase as soon as possible after their arrival. It always included in tuition fee whenever university send you offer letter. So it's like it always included in that. If you just wanted to yourself covered by some another, so you can go for it. Work permit. European students are permitted to work for up to 15 hours per week without a work permit, and it's like international students face tougher restrictions with only a highly qualified few eligible for work permit, and while others are subject to 6-month waiting period. It's like if you want to have work permit, you can just have work permit after the passing of 6 months your semester. Students are permitted to work for up to 15 hours per week, I told you, and after completing a degree, students are allowed to remain in the country for 6 months. While on the job hunt, if you get the job over there, it's good, and work visa is granted to successful job applicants. If it's not, you have to be back to pavilion, like you need to just return to your country after 6 months. You cannot stay over there. So colleges under the study metros tree. Here I'm going to just give you brief you about the colleges. Some colleges, it's like BHMS, Business and Hotel Management Schools, and location is Luzon. Courses they offered are like diploma, bachelor and masters, and the best part is like they have multiple intakes every alternate month, like Jan, February, April, May, June, August, September, November, and 4 to 6 months internships they are offering, paid internships, I must say. So we have another college. It's like Hotel and Tourism Management Institute, HTMI. Again, location is Lausanne. Courses they are offering diploma, bachelor and masters. Intakes every 5 months. Generally intake is in September month. So internships is like 4 to 6 months. That's bring me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. I will be glad to answer any questions you might have. Thank you. Over to you, Abhishek sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pragati, for your wonderful presentation. So I hope everybody have understood basically about the requirements and all. So if any counselors, if you have any questions regarding the Switzerland, please feel free to ask to the Pragati or write it down in the chat box window. So Pragati, I just want some questions from your end that as you mentioned about the visa part, how much time approximate it will take to get the Switzerland visa if we applied after getting the admission letter?
As I've told you earlier, that it's like after getting offer letter, a student will be getting offer letter within a week, and acceptance or confirmation from the university side, it needs near around 4 to 5 weeks. And for visa, it would take nearly around 1 to 2 months. Or sometimes offer letter will be, just a student gets offer letter within a week.
Okay, and you also mentioned that most of the university required the IELTS and TOEFL. So what about those students who does not have those kind of exams?
No problem. If student doesn't have such kind of examination certificate, every university there has their application formalities. So if you don't have TOEFL or IELTS scorecard, they'll just tell you to just appear to the university's exams. Probably they will conduct a Skype interview for that, and if you just pass that Skype interview, they'll just select you.
Okay, okay. And you also mentioned about the intake time, right? So what will be the deadline? It's like before 2 months we have to submit the complete documents before we apply to our students, or they can accept the documents at the time of the before starting the intake also.
It's like if you are just going for the spring intake, which runs from generally Jan to Feb. It's like you need to just fill your application from in between May to September. Okay, it's like if I'm going for the spring intake, and my session would be going to start from 2017, I need to submit my application in between May to 30th September of 2016 if I'm going for the 17 intake. And if I talk about the fall intake, you need to just application deadline is like 1st December to 28th February. So it's like if you are fall intake, it's like September to December. So it's like you need to just submit your application before in between December to February.
Okay, okay. And what are the advantage you think compared to the other European country which you have in the Switzerland if they are applying and going for the Swiss studies?
The greatest advantage is that Switzerland has world-renowned universities. Like if I talk about the University of Zurich, University of Geneva, University of Bern, they hold worldwide ranking. Yeah, and all comes under 200 top ranked university all around the world, all around the globe. So it's like the basic advantage is that. First advantage is that. Second advantage is like the beauty of the Switzerland. They have a beautiful location and sky institutions, and it's really every day eye candy over there. So during your academic year, many institutions they have their location to such a beautiful places. Third advantage is like that they always promote for the research, and it's like research, and it's basically famous for the hospitality management programs. So that's the another advantage. And I would like to add one more point. It's like paid internship. So it's offering near around 2168 CHF, and if I convert into INR, the student will be getting near around 1 lakh 50, or in between 2 lakh, 150 to 2 lakh paid internships over there while studying. It's like 6 months studying and 6 months paid internships. So it's a good chance to earn over there.
Okay. So I have a question for the paid internship. Is this internships are like guaranteed offered by the colleges, or it's again depend on the the students' credits?
Generally, the universities offer such kind of the paid internships programs. It's like if I talk about the hospitality management programs, they have ties with the it's like Switzerland is known for the banking. A Swiss bank is there. Okay, so if a lot of 5 stars hotels, 7 stars hotels are there. So if I talk about the hospitality programs, they offer such kind of the paid internships that is included in their programs. So are you there?
Yep, yep. So I think we have covered almost all the questions here. If any of the other counselors, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask before we end this webinar. So Pragati, what are the options available once the students pass out from the degree from the Switzerland regarding like post
Okay,
study work visa or the job placement and all?
most cases student get the placements by learning over there by through the universities. And in worst case, if student doesn't get any kind of the placement, then they can stay over there for 6 months. After that, they just need to be back to pavilion. And it's like they can search for the work permit, and they can search for the jobs over there within 6 months. So it's like maximum student get the job over there while just doing their internships, paid internships. So they get offer from that internships provider.
Okay. And what about the part-time job availability for the students who are studying the degree there?
Okay, it's like a student can work for 15 hour per week over there. And hello.
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead. We are listening to you.
Yes, student can work over there for 15 hours per week.
Okay, okay. But I think most of our partners who are offering the internships, they don't allow their students to work part-time because they file the internships after the 6 months. So most of the students, what they do, they initially 6 months they don't work part-time, but they do the full-time studies, and after the 6 months they can work full-time and they can get the around 1,50,000 in Indian rupees. They can get the internships also.
Exactly, sir.
Yep, yep. And the good point which I like about the Switzerland is that Switzerland offer the complete tuition fee, whatever they charge. They offer the accommodations, the insurance, and the travel tickets to go to the Shanghai countries. Also, they offer the food and good 3 stars accommodations while they're studying there. So it's like a complete package. The students can get it if they're applying to partner universities in the Switzerland, and there are around 90% job placements are there. So the students can get the placement by the universities by the university help in the different kind of countries like USA, Canada, UK, Singapore, and Dubai. So it's a good options available for the students. Sometimes they require the IELTS, but most of the times for the Indian students they can waive it because most of the Indian students they study in the English medium, so they can easily clear their Skype interviews. So it's very good programs for those kind of students who looks for the internships in abroad, because they give the internships offer letter at the time of the admission offer letter. So it's a guaranteed. So the students can easily earn, and in the end once they they pass out, they can show that they have done the internships also. So it's not only about the uh, theoretical studies like which we do in India. Like they have more theoretical, and they don't the student doesn't have the practical knowledge. But instead of that, they give more priority to the practicals kind of internships program, so the students can learn and they can earn also. So I appreciate all my counselors to concentrate about the Switzerland programs. Recently, we had visas for the Switzerland, and the good point is that the university take care about the all visa part. So your job is only recruit the students, and they can help you to do the complete visa processing by themselves. So this is again very good point where you don't have to take the you don't have to use your minds to apply for the visas and all submitting the documents, because everything be take care by the Singapore University. Sorry, Switzerland University. It's same like this what Singapore and Malaysia universities also do. So I appreciate if you have any students who are looking for admission in the Switzerland, or if they're looking for Europe. Switzerland is a little bit costly, but yeah, Switzerland is like a heaven in the earth. Most of the people, it's very beautiful. If you just go there, you enjoy the. It's too clean. It's too good, and I think everybody should must visit the Switzerland. And recently, one of our team members from the Gujarat team, they got a chance. The university is offering them to come down to the Switzerland to see how the campus work, how the students work in the Switzerland, and that they're doing good jobs. And today, I'm offering the same offer to my all counselors. If you're looking, go ahead. If you want to go to the Switzerland, you can go it, and you have to only give the three students for our partner universities, and then we can help you to go to the Switzerland. So it's a really good offer, recruiting only three students and going to the Switzerland. So I hope everybody's interested in this offer, and I hope to see the good number of the students from your end in the coming intake. Thank you very much, Pragati, and thank you very much for everybody who has joined this webinar. We look forward to see you tomorrow with our uh, another counselors. I think Kulsum is giving a webinars tomorrow. I'm not sure about the what kind of countries she is giving, but yeah, I will let you know tomorrow. So please tune the same time 5 p.m. tomorrow, and we'll have another webinar. Thank you very much for today. Thank you, Pragati, again.
Thank you, sir.